All right, all right, all right. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. This is Lisa.
And Faith. Lord, she done did it again. I'm going to do it now. Okay, welcome to Vet on This or That.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Faith. You know what? We're going to go into it. I know we have this little thing.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is
behind the
today.
scenes, if you guys knew what we were doing behind the scenes, like this
Prior
topic,
to the record button being hit. Yeah.
this topic carried over into the recording, so I apologize. So
It's
thank you,
okay.
Faith,
It's
for
okay.
picking up the slack.
Oh my goodness. And the slack has been picked up. Yes.
Welcome, guys, to Vet on This or That podcast.
Absolutely. Vet on This or That podcast is what we like to consider a potpourri of shit. Yes, because this is the stuff that we had gone through in the military and what we're going through in our 20-year transition as veterans. And 20 years, you may say, yes, we've been transitioning for the last 20 years. So not only are we trying to be better veterans, we're trying to be better civilians.
Gotta be better civilians.
Gotta be better
work
civilians.
in progress, people. It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Oh my goodness. Thank God for the meds.
Shout out to the VA for always making sure my meds is in my mail.
Thank you, VA. Oh my goodness. They're gonna be like, yeah, y'all need to stay on them too.
If you only knew.
If y'all only knew. My God. So listen, we got a good one for you today. All right. So I don't know, Lisa, if you want me to tackle it, you let me know. But either way, Lisa, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about today space for grace.
Ooh, we got to make room for that one. Elbow room.
Space for grace. And I didn't, of course, I do a little research prior to, so we're not out here just giving people any crap. And remember, people, that the stuff that we're talking about, this is how we feel about the majority of stuff. It doesn't mean that it's golden. Don't take it as this just how we feel.
Yeah. We're not professionals.
Yes, not at all. I mean,
we are professionals.
I'm a professional at being Lisa.
Thank you. I'm a professional at being Faith. Yep. So, but what we go through is what we go through, and we're just trying to share with you what we've come across. And listen, you know what? The fact of the matter is, bottom line of it all is that at some point somebody's going through the same thing that we're going through, or somebody is going through something that we had gone through. So we're just sharing what we know.
Hopefully along the line we can help, and if at least one person, if it's only one, that's a great thing. So hopefully we can help at least one person.
Absolutely.
Our stories and our shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Thanks for grace. So I did a little research, and what I did come up with is that grace is unmerited favor. Grace, y'all might want to write this down. Grace is unmerited favor. It's being treated well when you least deserve it. So that's what grace is. So when you asking for grace, you didn't do anything to deserve it. Actually, you probably shouldn't get it, but that's exactly what grace is. It's unmerited favor. It's when somebody, treats you well or forgives you for whatever and you don't deserve it. Grace isn't something that we actually ask for either. But rather something that it should be freely given to us. So, if somebody does something, I said, what, I'm gonna grant them grace. So it may not even be something that I discuss with that person. It's just me granting them grace. And sometimes I think that me granting somebody grace is beneficial to them, of course, but it also benefits me in the long run also. So that's a good thing about grace. And then I looked up some stuff, and I realized that when I was doing this, that grace is, of course, something that's undeserved, it's unearned, and it's unmerited, of course. And that's really powerful because I think that when people are in a place in their life and they do unfortunately do something to harm or hurt you, it takes a really big person with a big heart to extend grace to that person. Yeah. When you're the person, you're the victim of it, and you decide. And that's why I said, for me, if I extend grace to somebody, it's of course beneficial to them, but it also benefits me too, because I don't want to go around being evil and mean and nasty, because I'll be the one losing the sleep. I told you I'm an emotional person. So I would be the one losing the sleep, and the other person that did me wrong, they're
sleeping well at night.
Sleeping like a baby. So it releases something off of me. If I can extend grace to them, it releases all that stuff off of me, whether it be forgiveness, whatever. It releases that, and then I can sleep like a baby too, I guess. But
absolutely.
That's what I think. When you have space for grace, everybody should make room, should make space for grace. Whether it be to receiving it from someone else or you giving it. But I think mostly it's actually giving it, because in your giving that grace to somebody, you get it back too.
Yeah, sometimes you get back tenfold.
Yeah. So I think, it's in our best interest, all of us, to make room for that, to make this space, however it may look like to you, make this space for grace.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And it's funny that we're talking about space for grace, because I've had a few instances when I've had to make space for grace, and some of these things, as I look back on it and everything like that, I know that it was, and I'm not trying to get on a religious soapbox over here or anything, but me personally, this is an I statement, because I know that it was divine intervention that allowed me to offer grace for people who did not deserve it at all. Right. And I knew that in the long run that it would be a benefit for me and not for them. So, it was just a thing for me to do at the time. And I could tell you at a couple of stories of allowing space for grace. What happened when I was like super young? I was like in the 4th grade or something like that, and I had just transferred in from another school, and excuse me, it was a school that I was in Jersey City. It was a school that I was there before I transferred out, and I transferred back. So the teacher that was there, I will not name any names because I okay, anyway. Well, I won't have any names.
She might be listening.
At this point, I don't care. She know what she did. So anyway.
Hello, fam.
Hello today. But anyway. So what happened, I expressed this before. Some people know the story, some people don't. But I expressed this before. There was one day that I don't know, I just felt that she just did not care for me. She did not like me. And I know a lot of students do say that, oh, the teacher doesn't like me, the teacher doesn't like me. But this was somebody who blatantly showed her dislike for me at any given time of the day, at any given chance of the day, she would do this. And what ended up happening was that one day she woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I was just the target for her for that day. We were turning in our work. I handed her the paper. I put it down, and then 2 of her teacher's pets who sat close to her desk, one of them went to her and said that I cursed, which is something I did not do. Right. Okay. As a 4th grader, I did not do. My parents taught me better, and definitely did not curse at her, because she was a senior authority in the class, right? She was a teacher, right. And that was something that I just did not do. So again, one of her, I like to call them her goons, because that's what they were doing. One of them went back to her and said that that I cursed at her, and I did not. All of a sudden, in a matter of seconds, this woman literally threw me up against the wall with her hand against my throat. and I couldn't, I was so in shock. I didn't even hear a word that she said. All I know is that at lunchtime, I did not go back to the class. And I went to the principal's office. I explained to the principal that this is what happened. They called my father, and I didn't even know that they called my parent in. And at the end of it all, I ended up having to apologize to her for something that I did not do. And as I grew up and as I got older and everything, and again, this thing still sat with me for such a long time that I did not know how to handle the emotion of it all. It put me to a point where I could not deal with teachers of authority. Period. So with me being young and not being able to express myself at a young age, so I just had to sit with it and grow up with it. It's not until probably about a few years back, not so few years back, but maybe about 10, maybe 15 years ago, if not more than that, I decided that, you know what, that's between her and her maker. Whatever she
whoever he
did,
might be or she.
who he, she, they might be. That's between her and her creator. And
Right.
I had to eventually forgive her for the act. And the worst part about it is it's not like she did it behind closed doors. She did this in front of the class. This is what made things worse. So it's like, okay, well, you know, as embarrassing as it was, as hurtful as it was, as scarful as it was, I just, like, at the end of the day, in my adulthood, I decided, like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to just forgive her, because forgiveness is not for her, it's for me, right?
Absolutely.
For me to move on. So that's exactly what I did. I gave her the grace. It was unmerited. She did not deserve anything from me. She did not deserve any type of forgiveness from me, but I gave it to her anyway, whether directly or indirectly, whether she knows of it or not. I couldn't care less at this point if she knows of it or not, but I gave it to her anyway, because I did not want to live my life, the rest of my life, feeling hurt and disgruntled over this person, because I'm giving her power over my life. And that's not the type of thing that I wanted to do. Again, I could care less if she even knows about it or not. People out there, if you're watching and you know who I'm talking about, and you go back and you tell her,
oh well,
all right. All right. I'm living my life. I'm living my best life. Absolutely. And I'm grateful for that. So yeah, when you say grace is undeserved favor, yeah, she got that. She got that. A few people got that from me. And it was not earned.
And it took you a long time to make space.
Yes.
For grace.
Yes.
It took you didn't really know you were in the 4th grade. So yes, but you did know that as you got older, it still it lingered with you still.
Yes. So yes.
Eventually you had, and you knew that making space for grace was not just, like I said before, they don't have to know that you're giving them grace. You extended it to them because in some way, it's for them, obviously, but it's for you also.
Yes, absolutely.
And that example that you gave is exactly what I think grace is all about. You extend grace. They don't have to know about it. And of course, it's undeserved, it's unmerited. But you don't just do it for them. You do it for yourself also.
Yes, so, absolutely.
That was a great example of how to make space for grace.
Thank you. And at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm a better person for it. I'm a better person for it. I'm not giving her anything. And because of that incident, I've learned to offer space for grace to other people. But I love the other side of the coin of this. I some time ago, in the recent past, I was asked. I asked for grace at one point because there was an event that I had gone to, and unbeknownst to me, I did not register for it correctly, and I got upset at the people who organized the event and everything like that. So much so that I blacked out on them. Okay, so
Hello, Faith.
yeah. Hello, Faith. Hello, Faith. Yeah, you know. And again, it was I had to ask for grace because I did not know I didn't want to say that they were in the wrong. They were not in the wrong. I think the communication, there was the gap in communication that allotted for a lot of miscommunication in the process. Mm-hmm. And once the correction was made, once the everything was revealed, that I lacked understanding that I had to take back, and I was like, oh wow, you know what? So I apologized vehemently, like over and over and over again, to the person who organized it, and and to her committee as well. And and I asked for grace. I asked for it. They didn't have to give it to me, but right. They did, because they understood that there was a gap in communication. Right. There was a gap, but I was still in the wrong. And that's where the other side of grace comes in as well, is knowing when you're in the wrong. Exactly. And then asking for the forgiveness as well, because I could have easily just said, well, you know what, screw that. And then, I'm in the right, and I'm just going to keep on, believing that I'm right. I'm not even going to stay for the event, blah, 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 blah. Right. But I did not do that. It takes a bigger person to understand that, I fucked up.
Yeah. And it's something that some people have to work on. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there is like a time stamp on when you give or get or make room for grace. There's no time stamp on that, because you have to work on yourself. There is I think there is like people don't realize that you are your greatest project. The greatest project that you will ever have to work on is yourself. And so if you have to restart, if you have to reset and refocus, as many times as you need to do that, just restart, reset, refocus as many times, but just don't give up. If it takes you 10 years or 10 minutes to realize that you need to make space for this grace, I think that you should be okay with that. Faith was able to, for that instance, know immediately that you needed to make space for grace, that you wanted grace. And when you were in the 4th grade, you didn't know that. It took you years. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think people, we have to, one thing I think we have to do too is be a little bit more patient with ourselves, with us. Forget about other people being patient with you. Be a little bit more patient, with ourselves. So, it may take you a long time to realize that you should make space for grace. It may take you a long time. And then for some things that, you may get it right away. But you always want to work on you. You always want to be patient with yourself. Always, we always tend to make sure that when it comes to somebody else's feelings and all that stuff, you don't want to hurt their feelings and all that. But we have to take all that energy that we put out to everybody else and self-care. Give all that love that you give out to everybody else, give that back to yourself. Don't be so hard on you. Don't be so hard on you, because like I said earlier, like, we are our biggest project that we'll ever have to work on. So whenever we have to restart, reset, or refocus, take that, do that. And I promise you, you're going to come out a better person. Don't be so hard on you. Don't be so hard on you. You give a lot of people a lot of chances. I know I do. I give people a lot of chances, and but sometimes I'm my worst critic.
Yeah.
I'm worst critic. I'm my biggest cheerleader too, but I'm my worst critic.
Yeah, but I mean, even on the flip side of it all, we just finished saying that, give yourself, because there are things that in your life that you've done that you are like, man, I can't forgive myself for that. I just cannot forgive myself for that. And you have to, because at the time you may not have been aware of you were doing, especially when you're young, like in your 20s. Okay, let me paint this picture real quick. I know we're on a serious platform, but I need to paint this picture real quick because what I've learned in life is that, and forgive me for all church goers who don't like to hear the cussing, but I'm finna cuss today. All right. So your 20s, right? It's for fucking up. You will mess up. You will mess up a lot in your 20s. Yes. Okay. Your 20s is for fucking up. Your 30s is for cleaning up. Now you clean up all the stuff that you've done in your 20s, in your 30s. Yes, you got bad credit. Yes, you dated the wrong person. Yes, you may not have done good in school. All that stuff. So in your 30s, you're cleaning all that crap up, right? Your 40s, all right. This is where I am. Your 40s is for turning up because you done all that you have to do. You did all that you had to do. You cleaned up your best. You fucked up in your 20s. You got your good credit back. You got your house. You got your bills paid. You're on top of things now because it's a learning process. Each decade is a learning process, right?
Absolutely.
So when you're in your 50s on up, you don't give a fuck.
That's me. I don't give a.
You don't give a hoot or holler.
And you know what, Faith? It's funny because you're absolutely right. Like I've noticed, like it's not something that I planned. I noticed about me because you should always be growing. I noticed about me that a lot of stuff that used to bother me, I don't care. Like, oh well, sucks to be done. Like I don't care about it. I don't lose sleep. I don't. When I tell you, I told you guys earlier that I'm a very emotional person. And you all know that I love to love all this. I'm an emotional person. And certain things, especially when it came to my heart, I would lose sleep. I would lose weight. Now, in my 50s, let me tell y'all something. If for some reason I can't sleep, I will take a trazodone.
Thank you, VA.
Thank you, VA. And me not eating, I literally got to be sick and throwing up with some stuff because I'm eating.
There you go.
I am going to eat. A lot of stuff don't bother me like it used to. It just doesn't. It's not something that, I was working up to it. I think when you get to a certain age, get 50, like a lot of stuff, like you honestly don't care about. You're making space in your life for things that matter. You want to be around people that want to be around you. You ain't trying to be friends with the people that don't want to be your friend. And you're not doing that. And you've got friends. Like if you don't make any more friends in your life, you're like, oh, I don't need no new friends. Like I got
no new friends.
I got enough friends. Like so, you're right. When you get in your 50s, there's a lot of stuff you don't care about. Like it doesn't bother you. And I think that maybe just by talking now, maybe like because I'm in my 50s, like my whole thing now is space for grace. Like I love myself more now than I've ever loved anything or anybody ever. Like I love me first. I know now when I was younger and dating, I always wanted to be his priority. I need to be your number one priority. I've learned now that I'm older, I don't want to be with a man that makes me his number one priority.
You your own priority.
That's right. He should be his number one priority and then put me maybe second or third. I don't care. But long as I'm a priority in your life. I don't want to be with somebody who makes me their number one priority, because if I'm their number one priority, where do you fit in? You should be a number one priority, because if you're good, you're going to make sure I'm good and vice versa. Because I am my number one priority. At one point, my kids and my husband used to be, my kids are adults now. And I have grandkids, and those are my priorities too. They're on a long list of my priorities. But the number one priority in my life is Lisa. And I make sure that all the stuff that I put out to the world, and I try my best to put nothing but positivity. All the stuff I put out to the world, I put it in me first. And the only reason why you get the best part of me, because I'm feeding this. I'm feeding me and everything and I'm feeding it all positive stuff, I hope. And that's why I told you when we came home from Iraq, I didn't, trying to transition and figure out who Lisa is and all that stuff. I'm this new Lisa, and I love this person, but I'm still a work in progress. I'm still working on me, and I'm making space for grace for myself.
Yep.
The things that I like, I'm gonna do it. If I'm with somebody and he likes something, that's fine. If I love Christmas, if you don't like Christmas, that's not my problem.
Yep.
I'm still gonna decorate my house and do it. If you don't want to participate, that's fine. Still, I'm not gonna love you or like you any less. But you're not gonna you're not gonna suck the fun out of me.
Not taking it from me. Yes.
You're not gonna be a fun fuck. Oh, sorry, a fun sucker. I slipped and said the wrong.
I told you she cussed. I told you she cussed. Y'all looking at her like Saint Lisa. I told you that girl cuss.
To allow you to be this fun sucker in my life where you suck all the fun out of me, because then you're not getting the genuine me. And I am a genuine person. If I love you, I'm going to tell you. If I like you, I'm going to tell you that. But I can tell you this, and this has nothing to do with space for grace. I think I said it before, but I will tell you this, whoever this lucky son of a gun is, if you treat me good, I promise I'm gonna treat you better, because I'm gonna treat me good anyway. And so anybody that gets to claim me now in my life are getting the best
part of you. The best part of you.
And if you lose me, just know that you get another girl. You ain't never, ever gonna find nobody like me. And I mean that genuinely. I'm not trying to be boastful or conceited or none of that stuff. I'm conceited in some points about, but I am very, very confident with who I am and what I can do.
But you know what? It's saying that you're a mess, I swear to God. But it's saying that, it's saying all that you'll never. She is really cracking up.
That's what after dark is gonna have to happen soon, because I'm about to burst over here with all this stuff.
Oh my God! All that good. But it's saying all that. You're right. They will never have someone that will love them the way you do. And I say this myself too. He leave me, he ain't never gonna have somebody who will love him the way I do, because I love differently than the next person.
Exactly.
I will always love differently than the next person. So yes, when you're out there and you're just like, man, Faith loved me differently. Yes, I did. Yeah. Because she doesn't love the way I love. Exactly. I don't like Lisa loves the way Lisa loves. Faith loves the way Faith loves. So you're not going to be like, why can't you love like Lisa? Because I'm not Lisa.
Because I'm not Lisa.
Duh. I'm Faith.
I tell people that we're not 1 in a million type of people. We're once in a lifetime type.
Once in a lifetime. Yes. Once in a lifetime.
Yes. So you're never gonna find anybody. I'm gonna use the word us, because we've grown a lot together. Like over 20 years, we kind of not grew up together, but we've grown.
Yeah.
Together. Yeah. And when I met Faith and she met me, we can both say that we were totally different people back then.
Oh.
Than we are now.
I'm a different person yesterday than I am today.
Absolutely. And I say that to say this, that's because we are making, through those 20 plus years, we've made space for grace within ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
We have to, because a lot of things, that we've said or done, we had to apologize for, or, give ourselves passes for, whatever the case, however you want to say it. But again, and I'm going to keep on saying this now, but that we already made this clear, at least for me, when I give grace to somebody, it's not just beneficial to you, it's beneficial to me also. It's like forgiveness. If I forgive a person, I'm never gonna forget. But I got TBI, so that's kind of like fishy. Like I'm never gonna forget. But
There you have it.
That was funny. But it's just like forgiving somebody. I can forgive people now. Years and years ago, and I held grudges, and it wasn't beneficial to me, health wise or anything. Mentally, it just wasn't beneficial. And as I got older, I realized that when I forgive somebody, I need to really forgive them for myself too. But I have to be genuine with it. Forgive them,
yes,
and not bring up that stuff, because if you're gonna forgive somebody, you gotta don't forget it, but don't throw that back in their face again, because that means that you didn't really forgive.
That you really 100% forgive,
exactly.
or release, or give that grace to that person.
Exactly. Give them that grace, and then move forward, not just for them, but for yourself. This is one of these topics that honestly I didn't know how we were going to explain this. And I didn't normally, I'll take notes to keep myself on track. And I was telling Faith prior to, I didn't have notes really like for it, because I didn't know where it was going to go, or how we were going to express it. And actually talking about this, it clarified things for myself. We be talking and we don't know what we're going to say most of the time.
Yeah, like, you get these aha moments.
Right. We just wing it, and we feed off one another. She might say something and be like, oh, wait a minute, ding. And I'll just start jotting down so I don't forget, and then I'll bring it up. But this right here was a good topic, space for grace. Because it actually, I feel like I have a little bit more understanding of it too, just by. And it makes me feel like I've accomplished something, because I've been giving myself grace, making room for it without even realizing.
Without realizing it.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with, I'm telling you, getting older. I've lived more than half my life. I said it. So, it's not that I don't care about certain things. I do, but I don't let it bog me down. Like, I am in my life right now, this point in my life, I just want to do things that make me happy. I want to do things that I love. I don't have time. I've given everybody else so much of Lisa long time ago. So now it's my turn. So I love on myself more. And it's a good thing, because the more I love me, the more I can love somebody else.
Yes. Oh, yeah. What do they say? You want you want to love yourself, or you want to love somebody the way you want to be loved. So how about you love yourself first?
Yes, absolutely.
The way you want to be loved. Yes. And then somebody will see that when they're in your space, that, oh, this is how she likes to love. And she'll understand, they understand that a lot better. I do want to share one more thing. And this is, I got so many stories, but this is one story that this actually was this is one of, wow, how can I explain this? This was one of those stories, like, I wanted to hate the people that did this to me, right?
Wow.
However, I promise you, it's one of those stories I really want, like, in my gut of guts, I wanted to, like, really just hate these people. But it was such a turnaround for me. It was such an eye opener for me. I worked at this place. I'm a medical assistant by trade in past life. I used to work at a doctor's office, or a medical group, if you want to call it that. And when I first started working, I only worked there for a year and 3 months. Okay. And I went there. I got hired and everything. I was in the working in the office, and there were these two nurses, one who oversaw the department, and the other one who was, I guess you want to call her a charge nurse or something like that. So for that whole year and 3 months that I was there, they made my life a living hell. I would come home every day, and I would sit in front of my apartment. I would just be in my car, and I would just sit there, and I would cry almost every day. I promise you, when I tell you, I wanted to find ways to physically hurt them. Like,
and you didn't call us?
No, I didn't call you guys. I'm like, I was close to baseball bats to the kneecap. That's how I felt about it.
So you were just gonna have all the fun yourself, huh? You weren't
gonna I wanted them to feel like, I wanted them to feel the physical pain that they were giving me emotionally. So yeah, they made my life like, shit on a cracker. Okay. It was like day to day, but it was only the one nurse that did it. The other nurse, she was hard of hearing. So the girl bye. So she was hard of hearing. So the other nurse would go back to her and just like talk her ear off and say, "Oh, Faith is not doing this, Faith is not doing that." Da, 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 da. And I'm trying my best to be good. Listen, I'm a soldier. I'm like I soldier up. I step up.
That's
I come,
right.
I come correct to the plate, right? But they were not allowing me to be my best self because every time and every turn of the corner, this one nurse would make it her priority to make my life a living shit. Okay, she would steal my paperwork. She would go back and tell the doctor that I was helping that I was not capable of doing stuff. Like I would hear stuff behind my back from about what she would say about me. So I was just like, okay, like bet. So I would come home like almost every day crying because I was like, there was so much anger and frustration that was in me that I just wanted to like, I couldn't hold it in any longer. So I was like, okay, fine. You know what? So again, not getting on my religious soapbox or anything like that, but I heard from a higher being that listen, tell me about it. Tell me about it. So yeah, I heard that like listen, just pump the brakes a little bit. I understand that you're angry. I understand that you want to like, really put your foot in their tailbone. But what I need for you to do, and again, this is a word coming to me. Wow. What I need for you to do is keep doing what you're doing. And don't react on it, because if you do react on it, it's not going to help you. It's not going to be in your favor. So I need you to give grace at this point. I need you to make that space for grace and move forward at this point. So I did. And I did it, and I kept going. Somebody kept telling me, one of my coworkers kept telling me, why don't you just like lash out on them? Why don't you? Da, 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 da. And I said, you know what? I can't do that right now. I need to move forward in what I'm doing because I'm being obedient, right? Okay, so I stayed obedient. So my last day at work, this was the day before a snowstorm. So my last day at work, they had called me downstairs and to the HR department, and I met with the director of the department, and sat there. And as I'm waiting for them to call me into the office, I'm making plea deals with God and be like, God, please, I can't lose this job. Da, 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 da. If you could just da, 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 da. And I promise you, there was a calm. I don't know where it came from. As I'm making my plea deal and everything like that, there was a wave of calm that came through. And it just said, you're going to be all right. And I was just like, okay. Okay. After I'm like sitting there in my worry suit, and I'm just like, oh Lord, I can't lose this job. I got bills to pay. I got to do this. I got to do that. I don't know where it came from. It just came and waved through, and was just like, no, don't worry about it. You'll be okay. So I went into the office. They sat with me, and they were just like, well, look, Faith, well, we're gonna have to let you go. And they thought I was gonna black out. They were just waiting for me to be the right. To be the Negro. Oh. But so I was just like, listen, it's fine. It's fine. And they asked, well, is there anything else that is there anything that you want to say before you leave? And I told them, I said, listen, I've been here a year and 3 months now, whatever. And I can tell you right now that those who want me here would have fought for me to be here. Those who didn't want me here actually won, and now I'm leaving, right? So I'm not even beat. I'm okay. I'll go home. I'll find something. I'll find another job. It's okay. It was a great experience. Not a great experience, but it was a learning experience being here. And I thank you for the opportunity. So I went upstairs. As I was going upstairs, I ran into that charge nurse that made my life shit, right? So as I'm walking, she already got the word that I was let go. Right. So she's trying to run out the office. So I met up with her as she's like pacing it. She looked like a Tyrannosaurus Rex because she had these short arms and she was walking like this, right? So
right there.
Short arms, she was like, looking like a Chewbacca. But anyway, that's right, I said it. Go back to her and let her know. But anyway, So I ran into her, and I called her by her name, and I said, listen, I want to thank you for everything that you've done. Man, I was coming in on her. I said, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done. And yeah, you get home safe, and make sure that you don't get caught up in this snow. Okay, you take care of yourself. And I packed up my stuff and I left. I know she had this look on her face like, what the fuck? She was looking at me like, what the hell is she telling me this stuff for? I already knew she knew.
Of course. Yes. Of course.
And I had to extend grace to her because I didn't want her to peg me as angry Black woman. Because that's exactly what she was going to peg me
and
as.
You don't want her to think that she won in any way at all.
Absolutely.
Any way at all.
Yes.
Because
yes.
God made space for grace for that.
Yes. And in my own way, I was telling her to kick rocks.
Yes. And look
but I extended it, yes.
And look at you now, though, because of that.
Look at me now. Mm-hmm.
So in a way, she helped you.
Mm-hmm. And I could have been, and like I said, in the guts of me, I wanted to hate them so bad. I wanted to, but I didn't make that space for that darkness to come through.
Exactly.
I was like, and I heard stories about stuff that happened to them after I left. One person lost their job. The other person ended up being moved from the department and was told that she can't work with people anymore. That she has to be put into another department to work by herself.
Isolated.
Yeah, she had to be isolated. This is what I heard. If it's true or not, I couldn't care less at this point. But it tickled me. This was like years down the line. It tickled me so much to hear that. I was just like, listen, I don't mess around with God's people.
Yeah. Yeah. Touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm.
Hey, run with it. But yeah. So I had to learn. I like, in all that I've learned in life, that was one of the things that made me understand what grace is for.
Yes.
What the whole basis of giving grace is for, not just for yourself, but for other people as well. And not, forgiving yourself. Forgiveness is for you. Grace is for you and not for the next person. Then it is, again, unmerited, undeserved. I mean, and it draws people into confusion because they don't understand, well, why is she being so nice?
Exactly.
That's grace. That's the stuff. And they get mad at it. That's the worst part about it. You're being nice to them and they get mad because
they want you to be mad too.
Yes.
Misery loves company.
Absolutely.
They want you to be angry because, see, by you being angry and them seeing that, they feel, I'm good. I'm glad I got to fight. See, now they don't know. But does she already have another job? Why is she so happy? So now it's like they have no idea. So now all that negative stuff that they was putting out, they have no place to put that now.
Absolutely.
They have no place to put it. She didn't leave out of here cursing and carrying on.
Nope.
She wished me, hope I got home. Like, now you're questioning, what do you mean? Hope I get home safe by the snow.
Mm-hmm. What she do to my car?
Right, see?
What she do to my car?
So see, that's a good, and you know what? Maybe we should let our listeners know this too, in case there's some people that don't. A lot of people, especially religious people, Christians, they say, they ask for grace and mercy. And it's not just religion. It's not just Christian. Anybody can extend or ask for grace. Anybody. It doesn't have to be, some people are like, I don't ask for grace. I'm not no Christian. I don't go to church. That's not, listen to the whole podcast.
Yeah. If you ask for forgiveness, if you ask somebody for forgiveness, you're asking them for grace. You're asking them for grace. Yeah, that's grace.
Same thing.
Absolutely.
See, and I thought I was like, where are we going with this space for grace? It sounds good.
They talking about space for grace.
Space for grace.
Who's Grace and why we need to give her space?
Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Good. See? Everybody, you should make space for grace.
Yes, make space for make room for it to come into your life, because grace at the end of the day is again, is favor. It's favor. It's the thing that you want people to favor you, right? Yeah, whether you deserve it or not, you still want people to
unmerited
favor you.
favor. That's
And there
right.
you go. That's where grace comes in. That's where grace comes in.
Grace is something that people give or get.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that don't deserve it. Because see, in order to get grace or extend grace, it has to be someone that does not deserve it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's what
Yep.
makes it so powerful. Because
Yes.
your grace is given to people who don't necessarily deserve it. So you're extending that to them, knowing
Yep.
that. So, and they don't have to know that you extended it to them. They don't have to
They
know.
don't have to
But then,
know.
like I said, it's beneficial to them and to you.
Mm-hmm.
Grace is just like forgiveness. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
I think that they share the same value.
Yes,
They
absolutely.
absolutely share the
Absolutely.
same value. And yeah, so like with that being said, I want to go into I'd like to you to make space for my no good, no better.
No good, no better. I made space for it just now.
Thank you. Thank you. You are so gracious.
Man, I'm telling you, we should be comedians.
Oh my goodness. I love this podcast more and more. So my no good, no better for today's episode has to do with obviously making space for grace. So the grace that you give is the grace that you want back in return, because you never know when you need to have that imparted in your life as well. It's like it's the thing that makes you balanced in life. And
Yes.
we talk about balance a lot. We talk about balance a lot. And grace is just one of the things that keeps you from it keeps you from hating. It keeps you from wishing harm or wishing the worst to somebody else, because what you wish on somebody can boomerang and hit you as well. And you never want to be in that position of being on the receiving end of the thing that you wish for somebody to have. I expressed it before. I in my whole heart wanted to hate these two women, but God wouldn't allow it. I couldn't allow it because I know in the long run it would not benefit me in where I needed to go for my next movement, my job choices, my career choices. It's so much so where I am right now, in the position that I am right now, and I am grateful for the fact that I'm in this position because I did not allow for other people to block my blessing, to dull my shine. And I am happy right now. I'm happy. I'm joyful. I'm grateful because I allowed myself to give somebody grace, and I asked for grace back in return from anybody that I've done any harm to, not harm, but any ill will to or whatever. And so yeah, that's my no good, no better. Just make space for the grace in your life and make space in the grace in somebody else's life as well.
And after that beautiful, no good, no better, it's
Hey.
the quote of the day. So after no good, no better, I do the quote of the day, and it may or may not have anything to do with the topic. I don't know if this will, have anything to do with space for grace. Who knows? We'll see. I'll say it. What happens? So my quote of the day is, be there for others, but never leave yourself behind.
Mm. If that's not grace, I don't know what it is.
Be
Don't leave
there for
yourself.
others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be there for others, but never leave yourself behind. Kandinsky, I don't know if that's a female or male, it doesn't really matter, but Kandinsky said that. Be there for others, but never leave yourself behind. Never ever leave yourself. Always, I told you, give yourself that grace. Treat yourself good. And then you can treat others. So yeah, be there for others, but don't leave yourself behind. Don't be back there and everybody else up there.
I needed to change my shirt because it said kiss me this whole time. Now it says pinch me.
Now it says pinch me.
So yes, we're in the month of March. Hopefully this will air in March.
Just so y'all know,
in the realm of St. Patty's Day, Black
hopefully,
Irish.
Yeah. We will make sure that this is in March.
Either pinch me or kiss me. I'll take either one.
Either one or both.
Or both. If I could.
You know, when we give it up, buy all that stuff, but you.
I'm really playing around with this shirt.
Y'all see what I see.
Okay. You don't see what she see.
With that, on that note, with that being said,
we really do want to thank you all for bearing with us.
Yes, we do.
Keep watching, keep coming back. Subscribe, like, and share, please.
Yes. And
so you can pinch me or kiss me.
Next time when we next on this
or that. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and showing out. You guys have a great one. Bye.
Have a great one.